Well, SmackDown was chaos. And Randy Orton just he heard them voices and he was really front and center for this show, which had a lot of crazy stuff going on. So we're gonna break it all down. So welcome to the 716 Sports Entertainment Podcast, SmackDown edition from March the 20th, 2026, the year of our TKO. And I am Mike, joined by Mr. Sean O'Neill. And Sean, how did we like SmackDown?
I think chaos is the perfect adjective to describe everything that went down from the minute it started all the way until the end. And I mean, I have to say, it was overall a pretty impressively good episode. I think
Mhm.
there's only one thing that I absolutely hated on it,
I think I know
and
what that
I'm
was.
sure we can figure that out as we go along. And I'll explain my hatred for it. But overall, I think that they did a real good job of pushing WrestleMania forward, considering now we're basically what 3 weeks away, and we should be in full gear at this point. No AEW pun intended there.
Yeah, so let's before we get into everything else, let's talk about Randy Orton and then we'll kind of get into the rest of the show because there was a lot of other things that happened on the show. So, in the middle of the show, like right at the top of the second hour, Randy Orton comes down to the ring to explain his actions against Cody Rhodes last week. He says he hears the fans singing his song and, he wants to give his love back to the fans as much as he can. And then, he starts going on about, the voices that he hears in his head. And he made mention that, he thought he'd be facing Drew, but he kind of had to course correct. Rhodes mentioned that he wanted the best version of Randy, which again led Randy to kind of, knowing to kind of get that killer instinct of his, together to really make it so he could win his 15th championship. And at the time, like that kind of seemed fine. It just seemed like, well, but Randy at the time also kind of didn't seem like he had fully tapped into what he had done the previous week. But then, he was confronted by Matt Cardona backstage and kind of asked him like what the hell he was doing. Orton, kind of beat the crap out of him, telling him like, "Hey, dude, you wouldn't understand what was going on." And then he had another interaction with Jelly Roll, and Jelly Roll's like, "Hey, dude, like I get it, I understand what it's like to be judged for." The worst moments in your life, and you got to try and find like the guy that you actually are. So Jelly Roll invited him to the ring to do the right thing and to, basically apologize to Matt Cardona. Orton said obviously he would. So that brought, later on, and this was kind of like the show long narrative. This brought out Randy Orton to the ring with Matt Cardona. Orton tells Cardona he's sorry, gave him a hug, and then proceeded to low blow him, RKO him, and, just pummel him with a chair, like absolutely destroying him. It was really interesting that they decided to put Matt Cardona, of all people, in this spot. But yeah, it was like this was kind of like the show long narrative for Randy Orton, which it's good that I mean it's good that A, that we kind of wrote Cody off for this week as we should have. And B, we had Orton basically just kind of succumbing to chaos.
I think utilizing Cardona was a good call because he's a fan favorite. He is a generally likable person who has been around long enough that like he mentioned, has known Cody and Randy for that long of a time. So I think that he was the perfect patsy to take the beat down from Randy for the night. Because I don't know who else you would have put in that role, and he did it. He did it well. And Randy, I really like the fact that they're tapping into the fact that when he listens to the voices, he doesn't always have control of what's going to happen. His comment about how sometimes he ends up hurting himself, he ends up hurting others, I think that was telling in and of itself. And I'm very curious to see who else he takes out on the road to WrestleMania because I don't think he's done hurting people on the way to defeating Cody.
So yeah, I mean, I'm also of the same mind there, right? Like he has to win this match. I can't I mean, I know I am not part of the IWC that like hates Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes is still one of my favorites. But I mean, I just feel like the backlash, no pun intended, because I know that's the next show, but the backlash that Cody Rhodes is going to receive if he wins this match, I don't think it's a good look for WWE. Like, unless Cody turns heel, I think that is the only way you can have Cody win, is if Cody goes full blown heel.
So what, you do a double turn? Because you're not going to have him turn heel on a heel.
Maybe Randy, like I'm just saying, if you're gonna have Cody win and you want people to accept it,
Yeah,
I don't think Cody's gonna win. I'm just saying if Cody were to win, that would probably be the only acceptable way to do it.
I think the other thing too is this is the perfect time for them to put the title on Randy. I mean, look at the way the crowd is still reacting to him.
Mhm.
Even, I mean, people were cheering for him beating the hell out of Matt Cardona. Like, he is still a huge fan favorite, even as the bad guy here in this story. And I don't know if it's because people remember like the last time we saw a Randy Orton like this, which probably would have been like '09, to be honest
Yeah,
with you.
I mean but that was like full blown legend killer years. Yeah.
And I think that it's just I really like what they're doing with this story. Honestly, I almost think they're doing a better job with this than they are with Punk and Roman.
I mean, maybe. I mean,
Actual story wise.
yeah, I feel like there's so much more for Punk and Roman to tap into that they're not tapping into. But we'll get into that when we review Raw. But I think you're right. Like they're pulling on the history a lot more here, which kind of leads me to that phone call again. And I know like a lot of people online have been like psychoanalyzing and overanalyzing who's on the other end of that phone call. And I've seen like every possible person. I'm still of the mind that it's Dwayne, but it could be his father, Bob Orton. It could be Ric Flair, with that comment that he made about wrestling having more than one family. Hell, it could have been Charlotte, it could have been Sammy, it could be Kevin Owens. I mean, there's a
I
lot of people that
actually
it could be.
I actually saw somebody's talking about it possibly being Charlotte and you getting like a Flair Orton team up. But I mean, technically Orton he's a third generation superstar, I think. So he's not wrong in saying that more than one royal family.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, obviously you've got, you've got the bloodline obviously aside, but you've got, the Ortons, you've got the Flairs. There's a lot of them. There's a lot of wrestling dynasties at the Hearts, you know. There's a lot of wrestling dynasties out there. Maybe it's Bret Hart.
That would be incredible
Like
if it were Bret Hart.
that would be really freaking cool, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know how they would do it,
Yeah, I
like
don't know
I
what
wouldn't want
story they
him
would tell.
I wouldn't want him getting physical or anything else like that. But I'm thinking back to people who maybe had history with Dusty as well. And I don't remember a ton of Bret Hart and Dusty together, like if at all. So kind of have
Yeah, I
to
don't.
really go back into the memory banks there. And I can't like off the top of my head remember a ton of interactions between the two. I mean, they were around the same time, but I can't really think of any.
Yeah, I don't think that they had a ton of interactions between the two of them.
Yeah.
I think your Ric Flair and your Dusty, your Orton and your Dusty, I think those were more frequent.
I mean, Ric Flair and Dusty, obviously the history there alone is crazy.
Yeah.
There's so much history to call on there. But I don't know. It's just something to think about. But, you know, I just hope that they like it's a good payoff, I think. And I think it will be. I think it may be what ultimately decides how this match is going to turn out at Mania.
I think as long as it's not Dwayne, I think I can be happy with however it goes. Or Triple H, because I think that would be kind of dumb. But I think you give it pretty much any of those other choices. I think that WWE will be able to tell a pretty good story with it. I just don't want, I mean, if Dwayne were fully committed, that would be one thing, but I don't think they could tell a story with him because he's not fully committed.
No, he's not. He'll show up for one episode and then WrestleMania and then maybe one episode after that, and then that'll be it. And be like, oh yeah, just you guys could do it yourselves. You don't need me after this. Like,
He'll
go
come
to
out
hell.
and he'll come
Yeah,
out and tell Randy he wants to hold his title.
go to hell, Dwayne. Like, what was that even all about? I mean, like we're obviously never going to pay off that story at this point. Like, we're never going to get the Cody Dwayne match. Like, it's never going to happen. Like,
Nope.
we may get the Cody Roman match or the Dwayne Roman match at some point, but we're never going to get the Cody Dwayne match. That's never going to happen.
There's way more matches that I would rather see than that one anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, how old is Dwayne now? 52, 53?
Something like that.
Yeah, like it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. The only match that Dwayne will ever do again will be the Roman match. That's it. There will be no others. Anyway, we had a ton of other stuff happen on this show, and let's talk about Drew McIntyre. And I'll let you I'll let you kind of take this one away because Drew McIntyre also caused a ton of chaos on this show as well.
So not just Drew though, it was 100% a joint effort between Drew and Jacob Fatu. I mean, I absolutely love the wrestling logic of you can cause a multi-car accident and commit felony assault and be allowed to continue fighting throughout the night without going to jail. When obviously the show opened with Drew T-boning Jacob Fatu, pulling him out of his own car, beating the hell out of him,
Through the
and then
windshield.
and then coming down to the ring to complain. Like, what? How? But I guess that's why we have to suspend our disbelief and be wrestling fans. But like you said, this continued throughout the night with both of them getting equal upper hands on each other. I loved that you would see like a different segment of people talking, and then all of a sudden you would see McIntyre and Fatu go flying by, punching each other. And then whatever the hell that was at the end, where they were randomly up on the side of a building and decided to throw each other off.
Right? Yeah,
Like, how
that
did
was
they even get
awesome.
there?
It was awesome.
Like, how do
So,
you end up there?
so here's my question for you. How, like, obviously this is going to be a Mania match at this point, but like, you don't book this as just a regular match, right? Because like, for all intents and purposes, Drew is going to be gone after Mania for a while to go and film Highlander. So probably Jacob to win. But with that said, you have to book some kind of special match here, right?
This 100% needs to be some sort of blood feud match. And honestly, the fact that originally they were talking that it was going to be Cody and Drew in a Hell in a Cell, I wouldn't be surprised if this ended up being a Hell in a Cell.
When's
And
the last time they've done cage match at Mania? Was it Finn Balor and Edge?
I think so.
That the one where Finn busted his head open because he like fell off something the wrong way?
I think so. I think that potentially was the last one. And I think that a Hell in a Cell match would be a perfect venue for these two to throw each other around. And I could 100% see the match ending with Fatu throwing Drew off the top of it.
Yeah. Yeah, I could too. And I mean, I don't. It takes me to like one of the other points I'm starting to have with WrestleMania, and we'll get into that like as we get a little bit closer to WrestleMania. But one of the things I'm not looking forward to, I should say, because I don't want to say don't like it because I've loved this feud so far. But this WrestleMania so far just seems wildly predictable, doesn't it?
It really does. Like if you look at these matches so far, I mean, I'm still on the I think the Punk is going to win as far as that one goes, but most of these matches are at face value incredibly predictable. I
Yeah.
think I wouldn't be surprised if WWE did throw a couple of swerves in there that we weren't expecting. But
I mean, Punk
like Punk
retaining,
winning,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
But you're right. This is, I mean, last year was too, though, for the most part, if I recall correctly.
yeah. I mean, no, I don't know. I mean, EO retaining was wild. I mean, that was completely nobody saw that coming. Um, I honestly don't remember much of the WrestleMania card last year. I mean, everyone knew Jay was going to be Gunther. Um, what was the other women's match? I don't even remember. What was the SmackDown women's match last year?
Tiffany and Charlotte.
Yeah, that was a surprise though, because we
Yeah,
all
I
kind of
guess
thought
so. You're
Charlotte
right.
was going to win.
Yeah, so I
Death
think you might
taxes
be
and
right.
Charlotte Flair winning at WrestleMania.
This year might be more predictable than last year was.
Yeah. Speaking of predictable, we had one of the most unpredictable things ever happen on this show, which was the opening match of the show saw Damian Priest and R-Truth capture the tag team titles from the MFTs. Obviously, interference aside from the Wyatts, which leads me to a couple of things here. One, I love this. I love that Priest and R-Truth have the tag team titles. I think it's excellent because you
Yep.
did have another match a bit later on in the show between the Machine Guns and Fraxium, which is, just expanding this tag team universe a little bit and kind of like resetting it, which I think is good. But this is great. It gets the tag team belts away from, the cartoon characters and the feud that the MFTs are ultimately going to have with them. But you also had a ton of fun backstage stuff between Solo and the Tongans and as well. So like there was a lot of good stuff here to unpack. And I enjoyed all of this. And I think they 100% got the right result here.
The match itself was very good.
Hmm.
Like, for it being the law firm and Tama, I think that was a
Hmm.
good choice to have represent the MFTs. And the the look on Damian Priest's face after they won,
I know.
I'm I'm
I'm convinced they
wondering,
didn't tell him. I'm
yeah,
convinced they
I'm
didn't tell
wondering
him.
if they're rewarding him for the work that he's been doing
Yeah.
because he's like the Iron Man of WWE lately. And it's I feel like they need something done, he goes out and does it.
Yep.
And I'm glad that they have it. I don't know how long they'll hold it for, but we should get some interesting matches out of it.
Yeah.
And as far as the segment backstage with the MFTs when Solo was blaming everybody, I really like what Tama Tonga had to say to him, where he
Starting to
said
sound
that,
like Roman. Yeah.
yes, I think that is, I think we're going to start to see this is where Tama Tonga starts to become a single star.
As he should. Like,
Yes.
because you've been setting up feuds with this dude for a while with Nakamura and getting him involved in the US title picture. I mean, all of these things make a ton of sense. And I still am of the mind that this match between these groups is going to happen, and it will probably happen on the SmackDown before WrestleMania. Because I don't know yet. You know what? When we get to the end of this episode, let's preliminarily see if we can't get to 14 WrestleMania matches because
Okay.
that's probably where we're going to be. And maybe this will make the card if we can't really find anything else here. But let's put that on the back burner here for a minute. Um but you're right. The match itself was excellent and it was 100% the right winner. So I loved everything about that. We did have a really fun segment with Kit Wilson and Jelly Roll. And Jelly Roll really, I gotta tell you, this dude, he's great. Like he really they had kind of somewhat of a rap battle, if you will, which was absolutely hilarious. And there is kind of like I don't know, almost like slam poetry, if you
Yep.
will. I really enjoyed the crap out of this. And then, Jelly Roll continued to insult Kit Wilson's mother, and Kit Wilson also ultimately, beat the crap out of him. But this is gonna probably be like just a I don't know if it'll be a WrestleMania match or if it'll just be a segment. It might just be like a segment on WrestleMania. Jelly Roll might end up being the host of WrestleMania. And like this might just be like a segment, which would be a lot of fun, because I don't need this to be a match. I really don't. I would like Kit Wilson's entrance to happen at WrestleMania, but like I kind of would just like this to be like a in between matches kind of segment. And I think that would be okay.
I think we're going to get a tag team match with Jelly Roll and Danhausen against The Miz and Kit Wilson.
You think? Because
Yeah.
neither one of them was really involved in that this week.
No, but I think that's what's going to end up happening.
Okay.
I
All
mean,
right.
Jelly Roll went backstage demanding Kit Wilson next week. So I have a feeling that The Miz is going to get involved. And of course, the fact that Danhausen keeps cursing him is absolutely
Mhm.
hysterical. But I think that between that and the need to get Jelly Roll more exposure with WWE, I think that that's a pretty good prediction.
Yeah. Um, we obviously mentioned earlier the Motor City Machine Guns did defeat Fraxium by a pinfall after Candice LeRae kind of caused a distraction towards the end of the match. I don't really know what's going on there. I know Johnny Gargano is still depressed. But this match was awesome, as obviously it was going to be because the teams involved in this match, well, were incredible. But there really wasn't much to it as far as storyline was concerned. But the match itself was awesome.
The biggest takeaway storyline wise was just continuing Alex Shelley's, I think it's Shelley, his wanting to help Candice and Johnny when Sabin wants nothing to do with them. And
Yeah.
I think that's why Candice came out and helped them. Um, that's about the extent of any storyline in this match. And then the incredible athleticism of Fraxium.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, a heel turn might not be the worst thing for the Motor City Machine Guns. I think, we need to get them back involved in the tag team title picture, I think sooner rather than later. But, I'm okay with it.
Speaking of SmackDown tag teams, where the hell have the Street Profits been?
I think just off TV. I don't think anybody's injured I have not heard anything about anybody being injured.
Huh.
I mean, maybe Montez is with Bianca, and maybe
Oh,
Bianca's injury is more serious than, you know,
yeah.
or maybe they're repackaging them all to come back together.
I wouldn't mind that. I think that would be a good repackage.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's interesting. And I am of the mind that we're going to get some kind of multi-team match as well in and around WrestleMania weekend for these tag team titles.
Yep.
Like after seeing what's going to happen with the Raw titles, which we talked about on our Raw review, that's going to make the WrestleMania card. I don't know if the SmackDown titles will make the WrestleMania card. As these things stand right now, probably not. But I'm waiting to be pleasantly surprised. And we'll get into that in a little bit before we break down the rest of the show. We also had finally got the, long awaited rematch between Carmelo Hayes and Ilya Dragunov, which saw Carmelo Hayes retain the United States Championship. And I mean, again, just phenomenal.
Hell of a
Absolutely
match.
phenomenal. Hell of a match. These guys are excellent. Like, I remember who was it? Was it Carmelo Hayes and Andrade who did that like best of seven series maybe like a couple years ago?
Yeah,
Does that
I,
sound right?
I think so.
And like every single week they had a match and it was awesome. I
Yep.
think it was Carmelo Hayes and Andrade, and I think Carmelo ended up winning 4-3, like when it was all said and done. And I want that for this. Like, just let these guys go. Even if the title eventually has to come off of Hayes, so be it. But like just let these guys wrestle like every week for like the next month because like it's been awesome. These
I
guys
don't
are like at the top of their game and it's great to watch.
I don't think the two of them put together could put on a bad match. Like it's just the storytelling of them in the ring and what they do is just amazing.
Mhm.
And I was so excited when Hayes went to Aldis and he was like, "Yeah, your open challenge is canceled because somebody said they want you." And I was like, "Oh, it's got to be Dragunov." and we finally got it. So yeah, I could 100% get behind a best of seven series, like you said.
Yeah, it would be a lot of fun. I don't know what we're gonna do with the United States Championship at WrestleMania. Maybe an open challenge return of somebody, but yeah. I mean, I don't think Carmelo Hayes is going to keep this belt that much longer. He's been doing great work with it, but I'm of the mind that it's eventually going to go on somebody else, probably sooner rather than later.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. Honestly, I would be okay with them putting together some sort of multi-person match for the U.S. title with Mello, Dragunov, Tamatanga, Shinsuke, a couple other people in there. I think would make for a very good match, maybe a ladder match, something like that.
Yeah. Speaking of WrestleMania matches, another one that is very likely going to be set up was saw Aleister Black defeat Sami Zayn as Trick Williams made his way down to do guest commentary, but ultimately, you know, throw his drink onto Sami Zayn towards the end of the match, which allowed Aleister Black to hit the Black Mass to pick up the win. So it's good. Aleister Black is continuing to pile up wins. I like that.
Yep.
But also, this thing between Sami Zayn and Trick Williams kind of finally boiled over, right? Because Sami just lost it when Williams did that. Because Sami has just get kind of progressively going further and further down this hole that he's been on, for a while now about Cody and about everything else. And Sammy just looked like he snapped and, completely went after Trick Williams, which was awesome. So this is very likely going to also lead to some kind of match at WrestleMania between these two because they're too big. I mean, Sammy's too big of a star to be off the card. And I think this is a great spot for Trick Williams. And I frankly think that Trick Williams needs to win.
Unless I think you're right. I mean, have been setting this up for weeks now, and even last night during the backstage segment before the match, it was and when they were interviewing Sammy and he was talking about watching people do the right thing and getting the shit kicked out of them for it, but then watching people like Randy do the wrong thing and get rewarded for it. And I think we are seeing a slow descent of Sami Zayn into madness. And if he loses to Trick Williams at WrestleMania, I 100% believe he's going to cost Cody the title.
Yeah, I agree with you. I 100% agree with you. And I think that that's probably the right way to do it, right? Like, because they're going to protect Cody. You know, Cody's not just going to lose clean.
Right,
They're going to protect him. It's either going to be a cheap shot or he's going to get hit with the title or something is good, a dick shot. Something is going to happen. Cody will not just get pinned clean. It will not happen.
right.
He's too protected. So Sammy costing him would be huge, and then you immediately have a feud for Cody right after the fact.
Yep.
So
And
yeah, you're
it allows you to take Cody out of the title picture for a little while.
and then you could actually do, even though I don't think he'd win, you could put Aleister Black in that position to go after Randy.
Yeah,
I don't think he'd win, but you could do it.
you can
I mean,
elevate him.
you probably do the Cody Randy rematch at Backlash just because. But then I think over the next Money in the Bank and I think that's it between Money in the Bank and SummerSlam. I think it's just Backlash, Money in the Bank. Maybe there's a Saturday night's main event in there.
I'm sure.
So but yeah, I would love Aleister Black to challenge Randy Orton at Money in the Bank. I think that'd be great.
And I mean, they have
They
had
had they
interactions
had their
before.
history, yeah,
Yep.
yeah. So be like a nice, easy, built-in, mini feud for him for a little while. Like a good TV feud to lead up to a PLE for Randy to win.
Yep. And you can go with the story of Aleister Black antagonizing him about how he convinced him to give in to his dark urges.
Yeah, exactly. Built in, easy story to tell right there. Absolutely. Which brings us to the bad. And let's start with the women's tag team division, I think, first, because it's 2026. And I don't give a crap about the Bellas. Just
But
don't.
they're Hall of Famers.
I mean, it was funny that like the Danhausen segment aside afterwards, which was hilarious. This was like stupid, and you knew exactly what was going to happen. You knew Charlotte was going to cause the DQ. Like we know at this point that this is going to just devolve into a multi-person tag team match. And because it's the Bellas, it's gonna make the WrestleMania card. And the
Yep.
Bellas are probably gonna win. But Brie looks terrible. Brie looks terrible. And I couldn't get into this at all because, like I said, it's 2026 and I just don't care about the Bellas anymore. I don't.
Brie Bella, you can definitely tell that she hasn't wrestled in more than a
Forever.
few years.
Yeah.
Like, she was the better wrestler out of the two of them. And you can tell, though, that she has a lot of ring rust. And if WWE is serious about putting the belts on them, I think a multi-person match is probably the best thing that they could be in. And they need to hold the belts for not very long.
$5, it's Alexa or Lyra who's gonna take the pin in that match.
Or Kyrie.
Or Kyrie. Yeah. If
What
Kyrie's in that match. Whatever one of those, if it's four teams, it's gonna be Kyrie or Alexa. If it's five teams, it'll be Kyrie, Alexa, or Lyra. One of them.
Yeah.
Because like right now you've got, I mean, we assume we right now you've got three teams for sure, right? You've got the champs, the Bellas, Charlotte, and Alexa are definitely going to be in that match. And Bailey and Lyra already mentioned that they want to go after those titles. Who the hell knows what we're going to do with the Asuka and Kyrie, but they had a segment with them as well, since mentioning that they wanted to go after him as well. So that's potentially five teams. I
Yeah.
mean, maybe you could do a ladder match. That would be one way to protect the Bellas too.
I was thinking about it. If you want to have somebody who's a title holder take the pin, I could see Lash taking the pin, being the newer person too.
I don't know. They're really trying to prop her up, though. I don't know if they're gonna
Yeah,
do
that would
that.
probably kill any momentum.
Yeah,
I'd be fine with them all pinning Nia.
yeah. I don't know. I'm of the mind that Charlotte's definitely not going to get pinned. Bailey probably won't get pinned. Nia definitely won't get pinned.
No.
Um, maybe they'll pin Asuka because they hate Asuka. I
Yeah,
don't know. I don't know. And then storytelling. Let's talk about storytelling on this channel and character consistency and character motivations and
I hate
characters
this.
just completely doing a 180 on everything that they were all about for the last 6 months. So Jade Cargill, a favorite on this channel, comes down to the ring to tell Rhea Ripley to come out. Rhea appears and comes down to the ring. Rhea asks her what she wants, and she said she doesn't want to talk to her anymore. Jade says this isn't about her, it's about the title. She says she doesn't need anyone or this title. Jade goes on, how she's been grinding, and she says that she's always been a little bitch. Ripley says that she's right about that one thing, and she just, it was just a nonsense promo. Like I didn't even care about it, to be honest with you. I'm trying to like recap it as best as I can remember, and I have some notes here that I'm looking at, but it was just all nonsense. But then the end of it saw Jade basically making her way back down the ramp, and B-Fab and Michin approach the ring, appearing to get ready to attack Jade Cargill. But then out of the blue, deciding, nope, we're her friend now, and we're gonna swarm the ring and all beat up Rhea Ripley. And I think Michin had a kendo stick.
She did. She always does.
And I was going like this the entire time,
I was
thinking,
going,
did I miss something? Did I miss a segment somewhere? Was there us like did I like because I will admit, internet, I go to the bathroom a lot during Jade Cargill's, segments. So did I miss a Jade Cargill segment when she befriended the two of them. But I don't think I did. So I need help here a little bit.
I face palmed so hard I almost knocked myself out. What what are they doing here? You've spent months talking, having Michin and BFAB go after Jade because she's hurts people, she's runs away, she's everything that that they hate. And then all of a sudden, for no reason whatsoever, they're besties now? What?
I mean, maybe they will probably explain it. It will probably be terrible,
I
but they
don't
will
know.
probably explain it.
I don't know that there is an explanation that they could come up with that makes anywhere near enough sense to make up for
Voodoo.
the stupidity of what that was. And I'll tell you what it's going to be. I'm going to call it right now what the explanation is going to be. They're going to say, "Oh, well, Rhea, you came over to SmackDown and you jumped the line. So you're not better than us. We're going to join up. An enemy of my enemy is my enemy, and we're going to beat up you."
That honestly, that sounds pretty plausible. Even though Rhea won the Elimination Chamber and just chose the other champion that was
Yeah,
available to choose, but I digress.
it was the worst segment of this show. It made the women's tag match look like five-star Tokyo Dome by comparison, and it was one of the dumbest things I've watched in quite a long time on WWE. And there's some pretty dumb shit pretty frequently on WWE.
It's true. It's very, very true. And yeah, I don't even know. I really don't even know what else to say. I mean, you you're right. Like this made no sense at all, and why they did it, I just don't know. And can we just please maybe just skip a week with Jade? Skip 2 weeks with Jade, like have her off TV next week, have her show up, and then just have her show up for the go home thing. Like, and let's move past this experiment and let's get the belt on Rhea and let's just do something, anything else. Because like this belt has just not mattered
Nope.
at all.
It was
At all. It's so cringe.
it was the one thing Rhea said that actually made sense, that was good during the promo. When she basically said that the Jade having the belt around her waist made the belt worse.
Yeah.
Like, and what the hell was that outfit she was wearing?
Wow, it was like like that big fur coat thing or whatever.
It was
Yeah, I
just, and then to have her pull the, "Oh, well, I'm this huge star outside of wrestling." No, you're not. No, no, nobody knows who you are. You're not Dwayne Johnson. Nobody gives a shit about you, Jade Berg.
don't
At
know.
least the people knew who Bill Goldberg was.
That's too funny. Yeah, I don't know.
Just,
I don't know what to make of this anymore. And like it's be kind of, it's become a running joke on this channel for a while now, like us just kind of crapping all over the Jade segments. But like give us something, WWE, anything. And we have said on this channel, like we are more than willing to like give it a chance if you just make some minor changes to her character. A,
earn it.
she's got to lose the title. B, she needs to literally go on the Bill Goldberg run and get a mouthpiece manager and just frankly kill people like BFAB and Meechin and others week after week after week after week after week. And like that's it. And I don't know, have her go on like a 2 year long undefeated streak.
Yeah,
Then you could put her back in the title picture. I just feel like this whole thing with Rhea feels very clearly thrown together because Bianca wasn't ready. And I think it's just like they're just doing whatever they can to like just get through it.
I will never go out of my way to hate on any one of these competitors without good reason. And I feel that our gripes about the Jade Cargill situation are 100% legitimate. And I mean, if anybody who watches has any points against what we've said, bring it up in the chat. I will more than happily have a debate with you,
Yeah.
and I will bring it up on here. And I just I want to see more out of it, and I'm convinced to this day that WWE not putting Jade Cargill in NXT was the biggest mistake they could have made.
Yeah, I agree with you. And it continues to be the one thing. I mean, SmackDown has been the weaker show, like, week over week, but this really continues to be the one thing that is dragging this show down.
Yeah.
And if you fix this one thing, the overall quality of SmackDown would dramatically improve.
Yep.
Dramatically improve. This is by far the worst thing on SmackDown week over week.
No, you.
These segments with her are just they're terrible. They're literally the same thing almost every week, and they don't make any sense. The character work is awful. The wrestling is not good. Like she really needed, you're right. She needed to go to developmental a little bit longer. Promo work is not good. The wrestling is not good. She looks like a WWE superstar. We've said that for a while. Like you're to build somebody in WWE 2K26 to be a women's WWE superstar. That is what you would build.
Yeah.
But wrestling, promo work, it needs NXT, it needs some NXT love. It really does. So so that was SmackDown. Before we get into giving it a final rating, let's because we mentioned this at the start of the show. Let's just quickly go through. We assume there's probably going to be 7 matches each one of the nights, and then maybe like a fun segment, which I think is going to be the Kit Wilson Jelly Roll thing. But and you think it's going to be a match, but let's find our way to 14 matches here. So we immediately can throw aside the 4 title matches.
Yep.
So 10 matches, throwing aside the 4 title matches, 10 matches. Can you get to 10 matches right now?
Well, Usos and the Judgment Day.
You mean the Vision? Yeah,
Vision, yeah, sorry, Vision and
yeah,
Judgment
yeah,
Day.
yeah.
No,
Mm-hmm.
sorry. Vision and Usos.
Yep,
That's
that's
one.
one.
Brock and Oba.
Two,
Seth and Braun.
maybe.
But I'm thinking that's still the direction we're headed.
Okay, three.
Um,
Women's tag team turmoil match.
yep, that's
Four.
four. I think you're going to see Tiffany Stratton versus Julia.
I don't. Well, let's before we go to that one. Let's get to like guaranteed ones.
Okay,
Drew
so
and Drew and Jacob,
Drew and Jacob,
Sammy and Trick,
Becky and AJ.
Becky and AJ. So
That's
we're at set
seven.
seven. So 3 more matches.
So I think you're going to see,
So you think you see Tiffany and Julia?
yes,
Okay.
I think you're going to see a multi-person match for
Penta's
either
title.
either the IC or the US title.
Yeah, one of them.
One of them will
Probably
be
the
defended.
probably the IC title because it's all the way on Monday. I don't think they're gonna have Penta defend that on SmackDown.
That leaves us with one more match. Um, the
I
Jelly
mean,
Roll.
Jelly Roll and Kit Wilson, the MFTs versus the Wyatts. The another open. What about the Yeah, maybe the women's US title. No, we already said that. Um, I don't know. Go. We're forgetting the biggest one of all.
Which one?
What are we doing? What are we doing with Gunther?
Nobody knows yet
Yeah.
because Rey Mysterio got hurt. Nobody knows.
So maybe Gunther might not even be on the card.
That's the thing that I've read recently is that there's concern that Gunther might not even be on the WrestleMania card. Have
Yeah.
If that's the case, I have Gunther come out during the Brock Oba match for commentary.
Yeah.
And you can
And
use that.
have Brock get in his face.
Yeah, and you can use that to plant the seeds for the retirement match. I think would be a perfect spot for that.
Yeah.
I mean, I think there's a variety of other random matches that you could do for that last match too. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
I mean, we don't,
we're not even considering random returns or that kind of thing as well.
yeah, and we don't, maybe we'll get Dom and Finn.
Yeah. Honestly, that was actually one of the rumors I heard is that we were going to get Dom and Demon Balor.
Yeah, we could get that too. So I mean, we can get to 14,
Yeah.
which is probably, I don't think it's going to be 8. I think it's going to be 7 both nights.
You might see 8 one night, depending, but you won't see it both nights.
And do you think that we're going to get any surprise returns?
No.
I do not think Chris Jericho is going to show up anymore.
No. I don't think we're going to get any surprise returns at all. Outside of like your legends that show up.
Yeah.
But I don't really consider those surprise returns. Like obviously whoever is behind the phone calls with Randy is going to show up during that match.
Yeah. All right. So looks like WrestleMania is about, I don't know. I mean, at this point, I would say it's about 85% there. I think we're only looking at maybe 2 or 3 matches. We are unsure if they are going to happen or not at WrestleMania, but everything else seems like it's pretty ready to go. And like you've got a ton of storytelling work that you can do here.
I mean, I'm
So
excited. It's
yeah,
like even though you said it is a lot of those are pretty predictable outcomes to those matches,
it's gonna be
there
good.
are some that I could see having swerves, and I think that there'll still be fun matches.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the show is shaping up to be pretty good. And we'll definitely, we did this last time for the Royal Rumble. We'll definitely do it again for WrestleMania. A top 10 things WWE could do to ruin WrestleMania. But
Yep.
to be completely honest with you, this one seems a bit harder to ruin. I
Yeah.
mean, there are definitely some things that they could do to ruin it, but like, I don't think that this one's going to definitely be a bit harder to ruin, I
They would
think,
have to
because
work at it.
yeah, I think you're right. They would have to work at this WrestleMania to ruin it. I think it's going to be a good show. I mean, he obviously dependent on if Braun Breaker can come back and different things like that. I mean, we'll have to wait and see. So anyway, with that said, what is your final rating for Friday Night SmackDown?
I think that definitely continues the trend of last week where it did exactly what I wanted it to with continuing setting up Mania. So it earned its 3.5 again this week. I don't think a normal episode of Raw or SmackDown, unless it is above and beyond spectacular, ever deserves more than a 3.5 at the most. I think anything higher than that is reserved for your great PLEs.
Yeah. I mean, the crowd is still really behind Randy, and his in-ring promo work is just some of the best in the business. And I I really want him to win. I really, really hope that he wins, and I think that he will win.
Yep,
And I think that this continuing to be the focal point for the next 3 weeks is completely acceptable in my book. And I think, frankly, it needs to be because you're right. This is starting to feel. I mean, I know Roman and Punk is going to be the Sunday night main event, but just because of the names involved. But this match feels just as big because like initially when this started, this match did not feel as big as that match, but this match is starting to feel just as big. And frankly, in the ring, this is going to be the better match.
oh for sure.
Like, well, let's be honest. This match is going to be way better than Roman and Punk. Roman and Punk is going to be slow. It is going to be methodical. There's going to be a lot of rest holds, which is good because Punk is old and that's how Roman wrestles.
Exactly.
Um, but like this match, because I know people love to crap on Cody Rhodes, but he's an excellent wrestler, and Randy is still an excellent wrestler. So like this will be a fantastic match. So with that, my final rating for the show is a lemon pepper stepper out of 5.
Lemon pepper steppers.
So that is our show, guys. As always, thank you so much for joining us. Let us know what you think in the comments down below. Did we nail it with the WrestleMania card? Was there anything that we missed? Are you looking forward to all of the stuff that SmackDown is going to be bringing to the show of shows in about 1 month's time from like a couple days ago? So yeah, let us know. We appreciate all of the feedback and support as always. I have been Mike, joined by Mr. Sean O'Neill. Have yourselves a fantastic evening and take care.